Lately, Minecraft has been posting quite a lot related to the oceans and things like that, and coupled with the alleged leaks saying the next major update will be an aquatic update, it does make sense as to why people are really coming to that assumption that over Minecraft Live, we will be seeing an announcement for another aquatic update. And whether or not that does happen during this upcoming Minecraft Live, I want to pitch a few ideas as to what I would like to see inside of a second aquatic update. First of all, being probably the most obvious of things, lowering the ocean floor to a much lower area. Right now we see probably the lowest the ocean can go, or the ocean floor can go, is maybe around about Y32 or something like that, which for long-term players really isn't like anything at all, especially when you consider the fact that oceans in real life can go like hundreds upon thousands of meters deep below the ocean or something like that. So I'm not saying it has to go that far down, but what if most of them were to actually go down a little bit further than usual? Say maybe down to like Y16 or something like that. This could obviously happen ideally more with like colder biomes as opposed to warmer biomes, because obviously the lower down you go, the colder it will be because you have less access to sunlight. So if they were to do that, Y16, not like all the way down to the bedrock floor or something like that, because we are still gonna need like underwater caves or like unsubmerged caves or something like that. So I think Y16 would be a fairly decent balance and wouldn't be like too common, especially if we consider only like colder biomes have a much higher chance than warmer biomes. Not saying the warmer biomes can't see that, but I am saying colder biomes have a much higher chance than warmer biomes. Something else that we could potentially see is the fact that while we are going to see a Y16 ocean floor going down, we are going to see a brand new type of biome I like to call the deep depths, which will actually go down way, way, way further down than any other different type of ocean biome we have seen, or what we are seeing inside of my prediction or my projection. With this deep depths biome going to all the way down to Y minus 32. This would be way more than enough space to actually have so much more like ocean area, and would make way more sense in having like potentially other different types of minerals or other different types of things you can find all the way down there. And something that would be pretty cool to see is, one, still the gravel floor on the very bottom of this area, but two, something I think would be pretty cool, gravel ores. Yeah, ores pretty much inside of gravel. So instead of like mining it with a pickaxe or something like that, you would mine it using a shovel, and that would give more use to the fortune enchantment on top of gravel and on top of sand. And instead of you getting, say, like, you know, the normal things, the normal ingots and things like that, you would instead get nuggets, meaning we are going to see things like maybe diamond nuggets, emerald nuggets, lapis nuggets, all those other different types of nuggets we'll be seeing inside the game. And that could open the door for like many other different types of, I guess, crafting recipes or something like that on top of adding all the nuggets. And I think it'd be a pretty good balance, because you would imagine like there would be some pretty open gravel ores on the very surface, because obviously gravel being open on the surface floor of the ocean is pretty open too. So it's a good balance in the case that if you want to find diamonds, you can. You're probably just not going to find as many as what you would normally find inside of a cave or inside of some other different types of things like that, because obviously to make any ingot, you're going to need 9 of the nuggets. So unless you are using fortune, or unless you are using something else like that, you're really going to have like a hard time getting a huge quantity, unless this biome is way bigger than we actually anticipate, or unless this biome somehow is coincided with another deep depths right next to it or something like that. Something else you should be able to find inside of it is a brand new type of glow squid. Right now we do have glow squids inside the game that honestly don't really serve too much a purpose, apart from maybe the glow item frames or something like that, which does have some pretty interesting properties and things like that. With this new type of glow squid, which is actually going to be a hustle type of squid, I like to call the Red Devil, which actually is a real life squid you can actually find in real life, where inside the deep depths, which is where it will spawn, it will actually attack you. It can attack you in one of two ways. It can either charge at you, similar to how like a player can charge at a mob with like a trident, or it could grab onto you and drag you all the way down to the very bottom of the deep depths, trying to drown you. In the case you have, like, say, a water breathing potion or something like that, if it is latched onto you, it will still take damage on the player, which I think would be a pretty decent balance regardless of, like, what effects you have, or regardless of what type of armor you have, or anything like that. And in the case you were to kill it or something like that, it will drop a new type of ink sac called a red ink sac. Or, you know, we could give it other names, but it will be a red ink sac. And what you can do with that is apply it onto Prismarine to give yourself red Prismarine. Yeah, a brand new form of Prismarine, a brand new shade of Prismarine you could actually use and you could actually build with inside the game. And I think, on top of that, while we are talking about Prismarine, I think the ocean monuments would need just some level of updating, because the ocean monuments for, what is it, 10 years, 11 years at this point, has been exactly the same. No changes whatsoever. So maybe they can incorporate, like, some of the new types of Prismarine blocks we have seen over the course of those years. Maybe, like, the walls incorporated somehow, or maybe new types of rooms or something like that. But some way or another, we would see at least some minor updates and minor changes to how the ocean monuments actually generate in, and how and what type of blocks they actually generate in with. And honestly, there's plenty of other different types of things we could do within Aquatic Update Part 2, but generally speaking, those are my ideas and those are my pitches for what an Aquatic Update version 2 should have. But yeah, let me know what you think of these ideas down below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.